Through the literally hundreds of videos in the channel, I've gotten two top questions. Number one has always been, what is your graphics mod? And because of that, I made sure to always put my graphics mod in the video description. But then the second question comes, when is NaturaLux coming out for version X? Yeah, NaturaLux when, basically. Unfortunately, there is no release date yet for NaturaLux itself, but what I thought we could do in this video is we could check out what other graphics mods are out there currently which you can get your hands on, and we can compare each one to help you decide, right? So we'll do just that in this video. So this is how it's going to go. First part of this video will have a head-to-head section where I will show the 4 different mods I'm looking at, and we'll do them side by side in each quadrant of the screen, so you can see at each time of the day how it looks, how it changes the skies, the lighting, and all that stuff. And I'll do some commentaries of what I noticed with each one, what I like, what I don't like, and then we can jump into the actual truck, do a little bit of a drive, and then I can share more inputs as we go, alright? And I'll try to put as much of the description in below so you can decide for yourself, get the links, know what version it is, and if you have more questions, or if you don't agree, or if you agree, let me know in the comments below and let's have a discussion. Anyway, let's do this. Okay, so we have Project Next Gen on the upper left, Realistic Graphics mod on the upper right, Realistic Brutal Weather on the lower left, and NaturaLux on the lower right. We start off at 4 AM. You can see the different skyboxes, the beautiful sunrises. Well, for most of the mods except Project Next Gen, because PNG, I'm going to call it, is actually basically default weather, but with improved skyboxes. So you can see the morning, the sunrise is looking very familiar, as if you didn't have any mods for now. Later on it will catch up. But the other mods, you can see the different skyboxes loading in and the different lighting conditions that are in effect as well. So this is in the Grand Canyon in Arizona, and the rain probability has been set to 0 for the sake of getting the most beautiful skyboxes possible. And there have been a couple of weird, quirks with the different mods. Some mods don't look very nice with the rain probability, so just set it to 0 to be safe. Truck color is white, so you can easily distinguish the colors if it's reddish in tint, too blue, too red, too bright, too dark, and you can easily compare the truck color on each of these different quadrants. Oh, you can see NaturaLux starting to show off now. Look at those beautiful clouds. Although if you look closely on the truck, the lower right corner, you'll see it is white, but it is a bit too white, isn't it? That's where we see the overexposed problem that NaturaLux for ATS has. Oh, and this is one thing I wanted to highlight. Everything that I say here is only applicable in ATS. Please don't use the same analysis for ETS2. Even if some of these mods exist in ETS2, they can be very different. Like Project Next Gen for ETS2 and ATS, they are worlds apart. NaturaLux for ETS2 and ATS, very, very different. Okay, so this is only for ATS. Oh, look at that. Project Next Gen, PNG. Upper left corner. Look at those clouds. Wowzers. And this is with default lighting, but it more than makes up for it with the clouds. Just, I don't know if that's 4K, 8K, but those are so good looking. Realistic Graphics mod has this bit of a, there's a bit of a filter, upper right corner. Like a, I don't know how to describe it, pastel filter So there is a bit of artistic feel to it. But it doesn't look so natural to me, but you might like it. So we'll go through that later in detail. But yeah, so far that's how it looks like. The skyboxes on RGM, they're not the most high-res looking, but they have a certain level of variety. So you would get different lighting conditions, different skyboxes as well. They're just not as crisp as like Project Next Gen or NaturaLux. Also, we have these clear weather, no clouds for all of these mods, which is quite nice, a good balance. In terms of number of skyboxes, I'm not sure about the exact numbers. I'm sure NaturaLux has a ton of them. Realistic brutal weather, last time I counted, had like I think 20 for each type of weather. Project Next Gen had I think around 3. Don't quote me on this, but this is around the maybe rough estimate, okay? But then I think PNG makes it quality over quantity at the moment. Look at how beautiful those clouds are. Just amazing. And those look very well with the mountains when you're traveling through mountainsides and those beautiful bends. We'll see that later, maybe. We'll try. Realistic brutal weather is actually quite nice as well in terms of lighting. Now with this picture, you can't see so much the lighting. It more, I guess, focuses on the clouds. But you can see a bit of like how reddish the tint is overall based on the truck color, but not that detailed. So in the next section, we'll go into more detail on how the world looks and not just the clouds. Speaking of clouds though, look at NaturaLux showing off here again. Sunset vibes. This is one of my favorite times here. The sunrise and sunset are really just jaw-dropping. And each of the mods now have their own spin, have their own look at how dusk looks. Is that how you call it? Dusk? Sunset maybe is safer. I just love how varied they are. How they do different takes on different looks. And now you start getting dark skies. Evening has come. And there are variations on here, different cloud formations, different appearances. Project Next Gen going back to default weather here. I think it's losing out on that a bit. But still, the fair weather, daytime, beautiful clouds. Alright, I think that's good enough trial. Let's go ahead and jump into the truck, see how each mod looks like. Okay, let's start things off in Project Next Gen. We are somewhere in Mexico. Just going to do a drive here in the beta area of Chihuahua. And going to travel across some parts of Mexico Extremo. Shouldn't matter where we drive, as long as we get a good feel of how the skies look and how the skies and the overall lighting looks against all the backdrops. Right. Mack Anthem with Kriechbaum sounds. Project Next Gen enabled. At the moment, this is what I was mentioning. Project Next Gen is a bit of a, what do you say? It's not that strong when it comes to the sunrise and sunset, because Project Next Gen for ATS is basically skyboxes. Doesn't touch the weather at all. So you stick with the default ATS weather, and then with just much more beautiful skyboxes put in. I think I have the traffic set to 0 actually, just so we can see better and manipulate the numbers, the weather better in the skyboxes. So don't be surprised when you don't see any cars around. This is just an experiment. I rented the entire place for you guys. You can start to see though some clouds coming up soon. What time is it? 6:27. So yeah, probably as the day goes by, maybe around 7 a.m., then the clouds would start to come up and this mod would start to shine. But yeah, what I would say is the weakest part is the sunrise and sunset, which is a shame because those are the parts of the map where those are the times of the day when weather mods can really shine. The sun is starting to come out now. Clouds are starting to take shape. Still looks pretty vanilla though, doesn't it? Which might be good or bad depending on your taste. But if you are looking for a mod, then chances are you're looking for something different. So this might not be a plus in your books at the moment. Okay, I think it's starting. Been waiting for the skybox to change. Around 7:30 in the morning. Starts to change. And now we're starting to get the beauty of the skyboxes. The beautiful clouds starting to come up. And the default lighting isn't bad. There are times when it's a bit too reddish. But in the morning like this, after the initial, like, how does it say, sunrise, once the sun has risen, man, this is starting to look beautiful, isn't it? And the good thing about this is the being default as possible is both good and bad, because it means the mod is pretty lightweight. Doesn't change many things, only changes the skyboxes, which means you get the most optimal experience because this is default mainly, just with improved skies. Let's go ahead and look for other skyboxes. Let's wait till it changes. Just cycling through the different skyboxes here. This is one of the beautiful ones. Like, I don't know, would you classify that as overcast? But that just looks so good against the mountains. Let's have a look outside. Yeah, very nice. So you get beautiful skyboxes without changing the default lighting. If that's for you, then Project Next Gen might be your mod. Let's also have a look when it's sunset. Actually, even during sunset, it does have some very nice clouds. So I think it's not bad. It's not like jaw-droppingly beautiful, but it does look quite nice. And it's pretty varied. It doesn't have as many skyboxes as the other mods, so I guess that after some time you'll notice them repeating, but they are quite scenic, each one of them. I think where this mod is really weakest in is just the sunrise and sunset. When the sun is out, basically, it reverts to the default lighting and default skyboxes, which is not very pleasing to the eyes. Let's go ahead and have a look. So now it's totally dark, and actually I am noticing still some clouds there. So maybe it's just depending on the weather, because that's the hard thing about these graphics mods. It's kind of hard to pinpoint how good they really are because they have so many different clouds to choose from. And each time you load the game, each time you get into a certain type of place or time, a different skybox would appear. So you get only a snapshot, or really a small snippet of what the mod can offer. In this one, okay, maybe that's the one where it reverts back to the default. So just pretty dark sky with a few stars there. Nothing fancy, not so bad. Yeah, so I think that's a good preview of Project Next Gen. Let's jump into realistic graphics mod. Alright, realistic graphics mod now loaded in. We are starting off at 7 a.m. now. Does look a bit foggy. Maybe it's one of those foggy scenarios that comes with the mod. I haven't really played around with this mod so much, have to admit. So my points of view might be very limited. Oh, perfect timing though. Now we're starting to see some of the skyboxes. The skybox starting to turn. Sunrise in full effect. Now there is that bit of different filter I was saying about, like a little bit of haze. And I'm not sure what's causing it, or if it's really just the effect of this mod. But that like filter adds a bit of artistic feel, which is something you may or may not like, depending on what your tastes are like. Let's have a look at how the truck looks like from outside after I get beyond this bend. Alright. It's not that bad. It is reddish, but I mean it is sunrise, so I guess that kind of makes sense. It actually looks quite good from here, huh? Wow. That looks very nice. Very careful. I have to be very careful here. Okay, sunrise. Check. I like it. Move the time to 10 a.m. We get properly blue skies, a little bit of clouds here and there, nothing fancy. Kinda nice, but there is that like everlasting level of haze, which might be realistic in a way. It's not very photogenic, but might be realistic depending on how you look at it. I'm not very used to it though. That like little like white filter, that fog or haze filter is probably what it is. Let's see how it looks from outside here. Actually, it's quite nice as well. A bit. So I purposely chose white paint for the truck and trailer, so you can see if things start to bleed, become overexposed. It is on the brink of it, but I think it's balanced quite well. So just at the point of being overexposed but not crossing it. So not too bright. I think it's the right balance. Let's see how noon looks like. So this is noon. Interestingly enough, it looked darker than before. Maybe that's just the randomness of the weather. Maybe we triggered some kind of fog or whatnot. But yeah, this is where I would need your help, guys. If you have been playing with realistic graphics mod, and this is version 5, what I'm showing here, and you have like experiences with it, let me know in the comment section. Do you like it? Do you not? What do you like about it? And did this video show it justice? Did I show too little? Probably too little, but with the duration we have, I just put it to the luck of the draw. What skybox gets pulled out when we're showcasing it. So I moved it forward again. Now at 6 p.m. Clear skies. Looks pretty bright. Maybe we need to push it maybe an hour more so that we trigger the sunset. Right now, looks okay. There's still that mild filter. I'm not sure how to describe it, but you might see it in the video. Maybe you can see it better once because you can really like snap from one mod to the other by clicking on the different timestamps. I think 8 p.m. is where it wants to be at. 8 p.m. and now we start getting that sunset effect. Beautiful skybox at the back there. You can see the sun. Once we complete this turn, we might be able to see that better. There it is. Not too shabby, eh? Not too shabby. And the good thing about this is it's available in the Steam mode shop. So it auto updates. And it's much easier, much less hassle. So this is the realistic graphics mod version 5 by Firkin. Okay, time for realistic brutal weather. This one is by Kass. Kass with an S. And thanks to Jay for bringing up this mod with me. It wasn't initially in my radar, but I have seen a couple of folks try this out. I think they liked it. Seen a couple of videos coming out with this mod. I think this is one of the, how do you say, newest mods out there in terms of weather. So, and it looks to be a good contender. I tried looking at the different skyboxes. Oh, I'm going to a different path here. Anyway, let's just follow wherever the GPS leads us. Alright. It looks good. So it is 7:40 in the morning. We get that very subtle skybox with the sun just peeking out of the horizon. Kinda nice. The thing I noticed with this mod though, it is a bit foggy. Similar to the realistic graphics mod where there is like a constant layer of haze. It seems to be there as well for this mod, and that might be for realism. Maybe I'm just not used to that effect. But even now you can kind of see it. With rain probability set to 0, it's not as obvious, I think. But it's still there, and you can see the... But here it's actually quite natural. There are some cases where it looks a bit pasted on, like it doesn't blend very well. But here the haze is actually pretty nice. And you see the skybox starting to load in now. Replaced the sunrise effect, and now it's full-blown morning at 8 a.m. In terms of lighting, yeah, you can see see it better here. That like haze filter is even stronger than the realistic graphics mod, and that might be very well because this is called realistic brutal weather after all. So maybe that's the effect that it's going for in the first place. It's not about good weather and beautiful visuals, it's about having brutal weather. Maybe that's the goal. So at noon, this is how it looks like. 12 noon, much brighter. Skybox is okay. I guess we kind of lucked out there. It overcast there, just filled with shadows or clouds rather. But the lighting itself is pretty bright. It is pretty bright actually that it might be too bright. Let's have a look outside and see if the white paint is bleeding off already. It is starting to bleed off, just a little. It's a bit on the reddish tint as well, which may or may not be to your liking. I like it less reddish personally, but it's not bad at all. There's still that level of haze, but it's much less apparent now at this time of the day. Maybe it's just more pronounced in the morning, which makes sense. Let's have a look how it looks in the afternoon. Here we go, 4 p.m. That does not look bad at all. It's either I'm getting used to the haze or it has started to really dissipate, so I don't notice it much anymore. Skybox from there looks beautiful. Whoa! What was that? Speed bump? Yikes. Hello, Mexico. Oh, the filter is still there. The haze fog filter is still there. Just less pronounced. But then again, it might make the entire picture more realistic for you. So this might be your mod. Let's have a look at sunset. Wow. Sunset looks pretty fierce here. There was a point where it was really reddish, although I think I might have pushed the time a bit too far forward. Because it's now 8 p.m. but we still see a little bit of the beauty there. The haze has completely gone. That's good. I'm not a fan of it. Even though it might make the picture more realistic, I'm more about the looks, the eye candy. Yeah, this lighting is not bad. Quite nice actually. And from what I was able to see, I think this has a lot of skyboxes as well. I tried it for like the morning good weather. I got like 20 skyboxes, different looking skyboxes. Default only has 2 or 3, I think. So this might be a very good contender as well. How about you guys? Have you tried this before? Which one do you like? Realistic graphics mode and realistic brutal weather I think are pretty close in terms of appeal. I think realistic brutal weather has better clouds overall. Lighting wise, I'm not sure which one is better. I think RGM, realistic graphics mode, has less haze. But maybe when it comes to bad weather, then I would assume that realistic brutal weather would shine. And that's probably something you want to have as well. Not always good weather, but just the right balance. For the sake of this demonstration though, we're going and checking out the peaks, the highlights. The best of the best times. Let's see how it looks in the evening. Wow. Now that's a black sky. Goodness, that's as black can be. Whew, that's scary. And with this kind of road, no lights, although we do have reflectors in the middle, so it's not as bad, but this I'm sure is what some people are looking for, properly black skies. I guess there are different skyboxes here as well, because I've seen in this mod at some point there was the moon, but I guess it doesn't always show, it depends on which skybox gets loaded. Might be a good trial though. Overall, formidable mod. And last but not the least, we have NaturaLux. Starting off at around 6:30 in the morning, we start to see that transition between a dark starry sky with the moon and starting to see a little bit of that morning sky coming in. Trying to look for the sun but haven't seen it yet. Well, I guess with all the videos that I've been releasing, we pretty much know how NaturaLux looks like, but for the sake of completeness, I'll go and showcase it the same way as the other mods. And there it is, their backs. The sun's starting to come up. Beautiful skybox. Nothing too flashy, although if you look at the back, I guess it's as flashy as can be. Wow. The only problem here is NaturaLux for ATS. Now take note again, this is for ATS. ATS2 is very different. For ATS, it's a bit too contrasty, a bit too bright. Sometimes you get these too bright signs, like too much reflection, too much contrast. Right now though, it's still okay because it's still the morning. So I think it's just the right amount of reflection in there, no bloom. And bloom isn't one thing I have explained a little bit more on. But maybe we'll talk about that later. Or next time I should say. But bloom is not present here on NaturaLux. Bloom is a bit of a problem in Project Next Gen though, because it's using the default weather. Anyway, let's focus on other things for now. So NaturaLux sunrise, let's have a look at how it looks when the sun has risen fully in its full-blown morning. There we go. Set the time to 11 AM and you can see how beautiful those clouds are. The lighting is very nice as well, no reddish tint at all. The only thing is, this is I think the main weakness of NaturaLux at the moment, that's why it's still in closed beta, is because of, you see how bright everything is. Everything is just bleeding off now. Too bright everywhere. and you can see like the white paint on the buildings. You can hardly distinguish them anymore. Everything is overexposed at the moment. But if that's something that you like as well, then NaturaLux is definitely for you. Only thing is, I guess I should be clear about this. The biggest con, the biggest weakness of this mod is it's not available for download yet. So no matter how good it is, I guess it's a moot point, right? Because it's not released yet for ATS. So maybe let's do a quick recap of the other looks of this and then move on. Okay, let's go with this. 7 p.m. Things are still fairly bright, not as bright as back in noon, but we get a different lighting. More reddish now, nothing overly reddish though. Although we still have, I think, a bit of overexposure problem, especially against white backgrounds. But yeah, if you tone that down just a bit, it would be perfect. Anyway, why show this? You might be wondering, why show this when it's not available for download yet? Why tease us? Well, I think it's best if we have like a, how do you say, an anchor, you know? We start from somewhere and then we compare other stuff against it. Now for me personally, I still like NaturaLux best. I'm not sure about you guys. You let me know in the comments. It does have its flaws in ATS, mainly not being available for download. But even if it was available for download, still a few tweaks needed. The overexposure is the number one thing. The second thing is the bad weather. So right now I mentioned I set bad weather to 0. But if you put it even at the little, like slide it just one notch to the right, that slider for rain probability, it will give you lots of rain regardless of where you are. So I think it's not yet tuned. So it's a bit buggy at the moment. It rains whenever, wherever. And I guess that kind of explains the weird raining behaviors I've seen in many of my videos. Some of you guys call me the rain man, literally. Whenever I drive it rains. Might not be me, might be NaturaLux after all, but the jury's still out on that one. So yeah, for me, I really like NaturaLux. I think I might stick with this, but I wanted to get your inputs as well. For my future ATS videos, guys, would you rather see NaturaLux still, even if you cannot download it yet? Or would you look for a different mod? Or do you want me to try out a different mod and use that in my videos, so that at least it's more relatable? Yeah, so let me know in the comments below. Right now, I am either looking at NaturaLux or Project Next Gen is my second favorite. Realistic graphics mod and realistic brutal weather are very nice, but the haze and that the filter, it doesn't appeal to me so much. So for me, I think I'll stick with NaturaLux, or if you like, I can switch to realistic. To Project Next Gen. That's what I mean. So let me jump to Project Next Gen to give you an overview, a comparison. So this is how NaturaLux looks, and this is how Project Next Gen looks like at that same time of the day. Very different feel, I know, but very natural, and the clouds are just amazing. So if you can live with default weather and you want some beautiful clouds, I would say go for Project Next Gen. If you want more filters, more effects, then realistic graphics mod might be for you. If you are into the hardcore weather and some of the haze factor, then realistic brutal weather would be your go-to mod. But I cannot just really say this is the best period. Everyone has their strengths and weaknesses, and in this video I hoped to show those to you so you can decide for yourself. And so with that, I leave it to your hands. What did you decide on? Which one is your favorite after everything you've seen? Let me know in the comments, and we'll go and discuss it, and we'll go and see which one we use in my future videos moving forward. Okay? Hope to hear from you guys. Hope you enjoyed this one. Let me know what you think, and thanks for watching. Have a nice day. Clumsy signing off. Clumsy trucking, guys, and bye-bye.